let's hope we can end the year on a winning note, which is more than can be said for the English cricket team. Joining me now to discuss their dismal performance and to look back on some of the year's more enlightening sporting highlights, our sports correspondent Matthew Lorenzo. Good morning.
Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year to you, Matthew. Now, I was just looking through my little notes and everything, and I was just thinking, it says, can England win the Ashes? And I thought, look, there goes a pig flying past. I don't think it can. England can't bring back the Ashes, can they?
The bookies don't think so. It's 150 to 1 against. Mike Atherton, the beleaguered captain, who I don't think should go. I mean, he's been one of the people to save them in situations in the past. I mean, he's always put in dogged resistance. So that's my bit from Mike Atherton. But he's also brilliant at assessing the situation. He says the players are a bit down at the moment and they're not playing very well, which is enlightenment to most of us, I'm sure. They're playing terribly. And the third test starts on New Year's Day. Now, he'd be hoping that was New Year's Day 1996. Unfortunately, it's Sunday, and you can't really see them reversing what's been going on in a couple of days.
Meanwhile, busy schedule on the football field over New Year's Eve.
Yes, Blackburn a point ahead. They're on their way to visit Crystal Palace, who haven't scored in 8 games, so it would seem they're guaranteed at least a draw, and they have a game in hand. Manchester United, they're on their way down to Southampton, having been held at mighty Old Trafford by Leicester, the bottom club, or near bottom club, just 1 goal all. So it should be a few goals at Southampton. And Liverpool visit Leeds. That'll be a tough match, because Leeds' game against Blackburn on Wednesday was postponed because of the weather, so at least they'll be refreshed, as will not a single team in the Premiership after a very busy schedule. Continue.
Right. You're going to have a very busy New Year's Day, aren't you?
Very busy New Year's Day. I shall be up early and jogging and generally preparing myself for the first GMTV Sports slot of 1995.
Now, apart from, of course, the highlight of 1994 being your joining GMTV, what other highlights have there been for you? Well,
that puts everything else into the dark, really, but I'll try and peer through the murk. I think, without doubt, the World Cup actually being there was terrific, and being able to see the eventual winners, Brazil, live against Sweden in Dallas, which is where I spent the entire time, unfortunately. Couldn't see all the matches I would have liked. And the best bit of the lot was seeing the Germans go out. I mean, I know it sounds jingoistic and nationalistic, but at least when they disappeared in the quarterfinals, courtesy of a couple of great goals from the Bulgarians, we knew that that which seems to win everything was no longer in the way, and it opened up the tournament, and certainly opened up the tournament for the Bulgarians, who had a good run after that. It was joyfully celebrated in Dallas, and I suspect just about everywhere else in the world apart from the Republic.
Another goal there. Manchester United?
Yes, Manchester United retained their title and claimed the double to boot, playing the sort of football I think any football fan, whoever they support, perhaps unless they support Manchester City, would have been glad to see. Great goals all the way through, and I think Brian McClare scoring there, I think the man who made it really confirmed himself as the superstar of British football, was Eric Cantona.
They've had such a good year, haven't they, Manchester United?
Good year apart from their exploits in Europe. Early last season they went out early, and it seems this season they've gone out not so early, but gone out all the same. Hard to work out how when they have a team that can play as well as this domestically.
And then, of course, there was the great success of our athletes this year, including Linford Christie and Colin Jackson.
Yes, Linford Christie has something. I don't know what it is. It must be a switch somewhere around his person, which he flicks on wherever he really wants to win something. And he really wanted to win in Zurich, despite the rain and the awful weather. He'd been taunted all his career by the Americans, and, well, he provided this answer, which was the only answer he needed to provide. No real title at stake, not a great deal of money, but a lot of reputation restored there, and he could be forgiven for making a few gestures. Colin Jackson as well had a great season, unbeaten, can't get much greater than that. Everybody remembers his poor performance in Barcelona when he missed out on the goal he should have won, but here, again in Zurich, despite the weather, continuing an unbeaten sequence that really was heartwarming to see. He's a nice bloke too, and he must be on course for an Olympic gold next time around.
I remember the weather actually perked up a bit after that. We did have a glorious summer, didn't we? On the other hand, we had Dan Modal, Bruce Grobbelaar, Paul Merson, George Graham, I mean, in many ways this year could be remembered for all the wrong things, couldn't it?
Yeah, when sport crept from the back pages to the front pages. 2 of those are still pending, of course, but I think if George Graham is found guilty, it will mean it's the tip of the iceberg, because if George, who's at the most establishment club of the lot, gets done, then I suspect there are a few others to come afterwards. Could whiz through the others, but the saddest, I think, is Diane Modal, who really was guilty of a double deception. Deception which failed her a drugs test in the Portuguese event in the summer, and then deception making us all think that she wasn't guilty and being found guilty at the hearing just a month or so ago.
Nevertheless, amongst, apart from that, it's been a very good year for sport in general.
Working with you has been an absolute pleasure and
been
a
a
triumph,
delight,
and I look
Matthew.
forward to more of it.
Yes, thank you so much, Matthew. £5 notes will be in the envelope in the
10.
usual place. Happy New Year to you. And that's about all from me for this morning, indeed for this year. Have a wonderful New Year, but still to come on GMTV this morning after the break. Speculation surrounds the identity of Diana's mystery male companion as she takes to the ski slopes of Colorado. It isn't Matthew Lorenzo, we can tell you that for one thing.